Oh, we're live.
We're live.
I'm hitting go live on the Instagrams.
Yeah, it says live. We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Hey!
Happy Friday, a normal week in America.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Again, it would have been nice to just have a normal news week of just some light imperialism throughout the world.
just light, not
Just
heavy.
a
Just
just a little taste. But
sprinkle.
no. So can I tell you? I don't think we talked about it on the show, but how I found out about the Maduro snatching. Did I tell you this?
I woke up. My buddy had a joke about it. He was like, "You can tell what time people wake up usually based on when they reacted to the Maduro kidnapping and the Venezuela invasion." It's
Yeah.
like for people reacting at 2 p.m., it's like, all right, well, good for you sleeping in all day.
So grandma came back and my wife and I got a night out. So we went to a hotel in Los Angeles here for one night, had dinner, had a very sweet romantic evening that parents never get. And so it was awesome. We were sleeping. And then in the middle of the night, in the hotel room next to us, there comes a group of people just crashing in from, I don't know where they were previously. They were having a great time.
Venezuela?
Uh, Potentially. Well, I don't know if they were having that great of a time if they were coming from Venezuela,
No.
but they were screaming and stuff like that. They were so loud, and then slowly, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. My wife and I, Cosmo, we like wake up, um, and I'm like, all right, "Do you hear that?" She's like, "Yeah," and then we like let it go for a little bit, and she's like, "I'm gonna call the front desk," and I was like, "Okay," and I, like any other millennial, I'm just knee jerk, wake up in the middle of the night, look at my phone. And so I open up Reddit because I thought, don't look at Instagram or Twitter, Cena. Look
No.
at Reddit where
Yes.
your nerdy stuff is. And of course, I follow the Army subreddit, and they're like, "We just got Maduro." And then I look all over the place, and I tell my wife, "Hey, we just kidnapped Maduro. We
Oh
just invaded
no.
Venezuela and kidnapped Maduro." And she's confused because she's thinking about how we're gonna get these people to quiet down. And I'm like, "We just invaded another country." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "We just picked up Maduro." And then she just looked at me and was just like, "Cena, I'm calling the front desk." And
About this Maduro stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's how I found out. I was like, "I can't." She's like, "You need to go to bed. Go back
That's
to
how,
sleep."
that's how the front desk found out too, right? They were the next people you
Exactly.
told. You're like, "Hey,
Exactly.
I've got some important news for you. First of all, we need more towels. Second of all, we got Maduro.
Do you know about this? Have you heard the
Have you
news?
seen this? Have you heard about this?"
Oh my god.
Well,
What a
completely normal
mess.
week.
Yeah,
Well,
completely normal week. What's been going on with you since we recorded the episode? I mean, a lot's happened.
a lot has happened. This ice stuff has gone crazy for folks who subscribe to our newsletter. I did put something in there just about, I mean, there's immigrants everywhere in this country. I have put a story out of rural Ohio about two Venezuelan brothers who were being held captive in ICE. And the whole reason they were seeking asylum in this country is because they spoke out against Maduro. So
Yeah.
they leave one country because of political persecution, and now they're in another country and they're being held in an ICE facility, and their lawyer can't seem to do anything about it. So devastating news everywhere, just for you.
Yeah, incredible. And then, of course, the protests and the uprisings in Iran. On the show this week, we talked about how they hadn't really sparked in Tehran yet. And now they're all over Tehran. There are people flooding the streets. There are also people in Mashhad, which is kind of like a more religious area. And that's crazy. Cops
Yeah,
are coming to the side of the protesters. So everyone is affected by this kind of stuff. When it starts with the economic stuff as the spark, and
right.
then it goes to your entire government doesn't work and it doesn't do anything and it's oppressing its people, that it just compounds over years and years and years. These types of protests have been happening, at least this specific type, about like the economy, and then it sparks into the oppressive regime. It's been happening since, I don't know, 2017, 2016. It's been happening for years. Of course, these types of protests in general have been happening since I was like in the fifth grade. So, I mean,
Right.
it's been building up over a long time. I think over 60 people have been killed at this point. I mean, it's like a mess right now. And Trump is saying that the government of Iran hasn't killed anybody yet. It's like so weird. It's like, in one hand, it was nice that he was speaking in support of the protesters, and then he just goes and does this thing. So
Right.
I don't know. A bunch of Trump supporting Iranians are gonna not see that, I'm sure, and they're just gonna be like, "He is great. We
Sure.
love him."
Sure. Yes, you had a fantastic conversation on the show this week.
Yeah,
With our journalist guest out of Canada. Is that where she was?
yeah, Samira.
Yes.
Muhyiddin. Yeah,
That was nice
she's
because
nice.
I like to hear Iranians talk about Iran.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
just wish the better. That's all. Very for me to listen to, and I hope everyone checks it out.
Yeah, I hope so too. And then, of course, Renee Good. Jesus, how are we supposed to? This is not a bearable week, folks.
No.
And you know and this isn't funny, but the funny thing that I saw was that the new video came out of the other view, the front view, which people are saying, "Oh, hey, it's clear now that she was trying to kill him, that he was just doing it in self-defense." I think it's if you look at this, if you actually look at it, she says, "I'm not mad at you." And for you to use deadly force, you have to have a probable cause that your life is in danger.
Right.
And so a reasonable person isn't going to see someone that says, "I'm not mad at you." And then even when they try to flee, they're not trying to run you over. It was clear she got scared from people trying to yank her out of her car.
Yeah. Right. When they tried to open the door. Yes.
This whole self-defense, people are just, I love people. I mean, I went to law school. I don't practice. I'm not like a legal expert by any means. This is pretty basic stuff. The brain and the physical have to be in line, right? So you have to have the actual intent to kill if you want that. There has to be a reasonable person has to assume that you're trying to be killed. And these people aren't reasonable. So there's the lethal force, absolutely right, that guy. That was not required. It was not intended. And then I also read the DHS has specific rules about this stuff. They're like, if there's a car that they're fleeing, you got to get out of the way. You're not supposed to use lethal force like this. So
it's not protocol to even jump in front of the car. Most policing situations are the same thing. We had a situation here in Columbus, Ohio, where the cop stood on the woman's car, and then she got scared, so she drove forward, and then he shot her to death and also killed her unborn baby. So that that's why the protocol is get out of the way of a moving car.
Yeah, that's the thing here. And then, of course, Barbie Gnome called her a domestic terrorist. This mother in a Honda Pilot. I don't know how many. I've seen a lot of terrorists. White women in Honda Pilots, generally not. Generally, they don't roll around with stuffed animals in the back seat when there are ISIS lone wolves. That's just generally not a thing.
Right.
So it's just a mess. Let's see. Do we have the video of Christy Gnome? No, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. It's gross. But there's the wait. Is this the video? No, that may not be the video. The other thing I wanted to talk about as well when it comes to this thing is, I never really looked into abolish ICE, this idea of it. You know what I mean? I didn't know if it was like defund the police. Didn't necessarily mean eliminate all police, but abolish ICE clearly means like you need to get rid of ICE. And I think whatever Democratic administration comes in next, they're going to get rid of ICE. Is going to be gone. You don't actually, and I was looking into this, you don't need ICE. You actually don't need it.
Right. You have border security. It's its own thing.
It's its own thing. And then there's an investigative unit within the DHS that actually goes and finds, like the investigators, they find the actual criminals, like the violent gangs and stuff like that. So there is a unit a group that does the stuff that everyone was complaining about and that everyone was worried about way back at the beginning. So this is a thing that I think is just going to happen like on day one. What do you think?
I mean, well, from the libertarian circles I used to run around in, I mean, that's music to their ears, right? You're saving taxpayer dollars. It's big government, It's like what do they do if again border security is already there? Then of course you have the open borders crowd, which also exists within libertarian circles as well. So
You mean people that want open borders because of the free flow of labor?
free flow, baby, free flow,
Yeah.
everything, goods, labor, animals. We got to get our animals. Did you know there's environmental impacts to all these walls and fences we put
What?
up?
You
Yes,
know,
it's
I saw a
it's
thing
actually
about,
very cute. I've nerded out on this
yeah,
stuff a lot, where they actually will
give it to
make.
me.
That's why the big fences you'll see along Arizona, between Arizona and Mexico, have like openings like that big for them, so animals can get through.
Whoa,
Yeah,
interesting. I
yeah,
like
because
that.
they're
I did
just
see a design for like a connected green pasture between the US and Mexico at one point
yeah,
that was
yeah,
going to allow for like these types of like lions or bears or I don't know, oh my, something to like travel back and forth
yeah.
to like breed and stuff like that.
They built one in California over at California Highway. It's a green. They call it a green bridge, where it literally is just it's like an overpass, but instead of cars, it's for animals to get across, because otherwise all these animals were trying to cross the highway. It was causing a bunch of accidents.
I
So
know.
there
This
you
is
go.
great.
There's some nerdy environmental policy for you
There we
guys.
go.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, let's go on to like a story here. Oh, this is this one. Okay, come on. Let me do this. Let me share this video. Donald Trump. Can you see this? Okay, amazing. All right. So Donald Trump called for a 1.5 trillion budget for a dream military. He's the dream girl. I don't know. Called for Congress to increase the U.S. defense budget from 1 trillion to 1.5 trillion, arguing it will allow the country to build its dream military. I don't know. Do we not?
Do
Who
we
doesn't
not?
think this is a dream military
We already
already?
have the biggest, most expensive military in the world. This is just the complete opposite of Martin Luther King's dream.
This will allow us to build the dream military that we have long been entitled to, and more importantly, that will keep us safe and secure regardless of the foe. What? What are you talking about?
What
What
are we talking about?
do we can if right now the military could send a missile all the way to the other side of the earth and blow someone up within like I don't know a few blocks,
Sure,
and
yeah.
what else do we need them to do? We've got subs, we've got ships, we've got all these things that could kill. Why don't
Yeah.
it's so confusing to me.
It's very confusing. I sent you that on Instagram at like 2 a.m., I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was
You
it.
gave me a waterfall of
It was, yeah, Democracy Now! Did the cover. That was the first time I saw it. I was like, you've got to be kidding. We're already, like, what, spend more than the next 13 countries combined
yeah,
on
it's
our
incredible.
military?
I don't understand what's going on. How do we even do this? Do we
So
need how many more times do we need to prove to everyone the country we live in has a micro penis? I don't
Yes.
know if it's like is it not clear enough to everybody? Do we need prettier costumes? Let's go. Did you
Get a
see
bigger
this thing?
truck.
Did you see this thing Stephen Miller did on CNN?
Oh yeah, I definitely saw that. You want to play that? That was
Yeah.
bonkers too. Well, at least they're saying the quiet part out loud. We mentioned that on our show this week, that
You know, you're right.
originally the idea of going into Venezuela was to get the fentanyl, to get the drugs, and then as soon as it was over and done with, they were like, "Oh, it's for the oil. We're taking the oil," and it was
Yeah.
it was only oil. So at least they're telling the truth now. That's nice.
They're just letting us know.
Ugh,
Let's refresh.
it's so strange to watch.
Finland and the Premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife
Oh boy, here we
showing
go.
Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon. After that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish Prime Minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg. Quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously. when he says he wants Greenland, but I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War. Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now, so I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United
Right, but
States,
your wife posted that like hours after the Venezuela operation.
but
that's why it's newly relevant.
Yeah, that's why it's news.
I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's a really important conversation. I just wanted to reset, Jake, by making clear that it has been the formal position of the U.S. government since the beginning of this administration, frankly, going back into the previous Trump administration, that Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that.
Absurd.
That is the formal
How do
position
we get
of the
this
U.S.
guy?
government.
Right, but can you say that military action against Greenland?
Hold on. There has to be some Nuremberg level trial after this administration is out, that we have to line these guys up and prosecute them criminally. And I was even thinking maybe criminally is not actually the way to do it. Maybe the way to do it is like civil, like bankrupting them, because if they go to jail or they go to prison or whatever, they could write a book and they can still make money and they'll eventually get out. But if we bankrupt them, like if all of Trump's money goes away, then it's like generational harm, which I would be really in favor of.
Greenland is off the table.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I feel like they tried that, right? Did they try that in between the two administrations? I mean, a lot of people got charged, and that is, I mean, even Trump went to court, and it just made him more powerful with his base, and he uses that stuff for fundraising emails.
Exactly, and you know what else? The criminal standard is so much higher than the civil standard, so you got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. In a criminal case, civil, it's like, preponderance or clear and convincing. It's like, 50-50 or 75%. Way better.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be military action against Greenland. The Greenland has a population of 30,000 people, Jake. The real question is, by what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim?
What's
What
the
is
basis
of having
of your
Greenland
face
as a
on
colony?
television?
The United States is the power of NATO. For the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States. And so that's
What is he talking about NATO and NATO interests now? This is absurd. He's just been trashing NATO for the entire last year.
Yeah, and I listened to a lot of NPR. They were talking about this today. It was like NATO, Denmark is part of NATO, and when the United States went into Afghanistan and Iraq, Denmark sent troops. I mean, that's the NATO alliance. So this is why it's so unprecedented. And I know everyone's mentioned this as well, but like if a NATO country just takes something from another NATO country, NATO's kaput. Maybe that's what the Trump administration wants. So we know that's what Putin wants. So.
Well, that's the other thing too. If you think about it, I just want to get this. This guy's face is ruining my life right now.
Yeah,
so
well, we can. Do you want to finish the clip, or you just want to get him out of here?
Well, did he say more? Let's see.
He just says more insane stuff. That's all.
Do we? Okay, let's play a little bit more. Oh God, I don't know. Somebody help me. Oh God, let's just
conversation that we're going to have as a country. That's a process we're going to have as a community of nations.
So you can't take it off the table that the U.S. would use military force to seize Greenland. You can't take it off the table.
Jake, I understand you're trying very hard to, which again is your job. I respect it. It's great
No,
to
you
get
don't.
exactly the headline, right? That catchy headline.
I'm trying to get an answer to the question.
That says Miller refuses to rule out the United States should have Greenland as part of the United States. There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland. So
One last question,
doesn't
Stephen.
make any sense.
One last question. The president was very quick to say that the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, opposition leader Machado in Venezuela, doesn't have the support in Venezuela to become the next president or the interim leader. And I wonder where he got that from, given that her cutout, Gonzalez, won the election last year 2 years ago, overwhelmingly 70% of the vote or something like that. Why does the president think that Machado should not be the next leader? Why does he think she's weak?
First of all Venezuela experts agree, that it would be absurd and preposterous for us to suddenly fly her into the country and to put her in charge. And the military would follow her, and the security forces would follow her.
This is actually a really interesting point.
It's not even a serious question.
So should there be an election?
If you give me the floor for 30 seconds, let me tell you what we are
what a
doing.
hellscape.
There we go. 30 seconds.
The United States, this is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere.
Completely wrong.
We're a superpower, and under
so
President Trump,
Somebody help
we are
me.
going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that
Woo.
we would allow
That's what
a
superpowers
nation in our
do.
own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them
Now you're gonna
parliaments,
send soldiers to
try
die in
build them
Venezuela.
democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period
When is
that
he gonna
happened
just
after World
fall
War
over
II,
from an
where the
aneurysm?
West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparations
about right
schemes.
now.
It's
Thank
what I'm
you.
talking about, Jake.
What the
The
hell?
idea-
JT.
By the way, you do. I know
This
you're
went
not
off
doing
the
that
rails.
smarmy thing, Jake,
You
and I was hoping you'd do
smarmy
better than
thing,
this time.
Jake.
I asked you about if there should be an election.
Stephen Miller's
I
like
asked you
not
if there
being
should be an election
smarmy
in
right now.
Venezuela. That's what I asked. I
I'm
said,
saying-
why was the president so quick
Yeah,
to dismiss Machado? You answered
Because
that question.
The objective,
And then I said,
the objective, Jake, is security and stability for the people of Venezuela. With our help and leadership, that country will become more prosperous.
What a loathsome human being. All right, there's a couple of things I wanted to just pick up on from what he said there. There is this interesting thing, Travis, where the Trump administration kind of knew not to go in and try to level the entire Capitol and bring troops in and pull Saddam Hussein's statue down like they did in Iraq.
Right.
Like they knew enough to do that, but at the same time, they didn't really do anything to secure America because they left the entire apparatus that is running everything in place. Like the vice president was like, she was like the number two. She was handpicked by Maduro.
Right. Right.
So I don't really know what there was like one part where I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually like someone learned their lesson in this kind of thing, you know? But at the same time, it's like, but did you just do this for the publicity? Is this really what you're doing to not have the Epstein files come out? Are we really back to this?
Yes.
Like, I know this is a military plan that's been drawn up for a long time. I know this is a blocking thing. We talked about it on the show this week. There's a lot of other pieces in play here. But at the same time, it's like this doesn't stop the drugs. This doesn't necessarily do a lot for American security. A lot, like, what would have been better was using soft power. Would have been influencing them through Brazil or through other trade agreements. I don't know.
Or NGOs on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think we're going to go in boots on the ground? Because like Exxon's going to try to go in there. They're not going to be able to do anything.
Right. That's what's interesting. He's saying, I think he's meeting with oil companies today. And he's saying like they're going to go in and spend billions of dollars. And even those companies are like, who are you? Like, are you going to give us the billions of dollars to go in and do these things? But you remember what Halliburton's big business was when they went into Iraq to build the infrastructure to get all the oil. Hey, Rumi loves those dogs. Rumi loves the dogs. They need the army basically had to guard all of the oil infrastructure in Iraq.
So that's what's going to happen. And like, do they know? Ruby, stop it! This is great. This is live, eh? We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. No, but this is also where I remember all those kind of private security contractors came from. Folks, Seena's gone. Let's admire his wall. His new wall he made for all of us. And there's Rumi.
This is Rumi.
That's what we got. Send Rumi to Venezuela. He will get every squirrel that you can get.
Do you know what happened today, Travis?
I mean, are we talking news or are we talking Rumi?
Rumi
Okay.
news. Big
Okay.
Rumi news. Rumi got his 10th squirrel today.
Wow. See,
Number
this is what I'm
10.
saying. Send him to Venezuela. We need him
Congratulations,
there.
Rumi.
That's
My
great.
mother-in-law was like, "You should go look at the side of the house. There's just a squirrel carcass on the side. This guy is a little monster."
Woo! That's good for him.
Yeah, he got battled with an opossum this week too. This is a very busy week.
That's a busy week.
It's a
He's
busy
feeling
week.
it. He's feeling the
Hey!
imperialist vibes.
He's feeling. So this is like you'd send Rumi into the Venezuelan jungle. The Venezuelans have been working since Chavez on asymmetric warfare, which means they've got the whole country is like rigged up like Rambo First Blood with like all booby traps and stuff like that. Like it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, yeah, looking at the comments here, everyone agrees Rumi is helping make it bearable.
Yeah.
I mean, look, puppies, we're all, I mean, I watch sports. You were saying your brother talks about the Steelers.
Oh yeah, he
you
reached
know,
out, was like, "Is this thing in Iran? What's going on?" I'm like, "Whoa, boy, we got
it's just so much
we got
all at
through."
once. Yeah.
For notes, my brother does not like to follow politics at all, which makes
Sure.
us great brothers, and he likes to tell me about the Steelers, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, that is nice.
Yeah, it's special. It's oh my god. Yeah, I don't know this Venezuela thing. I don't know what they're gonna plan on doing, but they're not gonna be able to control the government. All those generals are the ones that are kind of the ones handling all the drugs. Oh, did you see this thing in the indictment? By the way, they kept calling it circle of sun, something of soul.
Oh, right. It's some big drug dealing global cartel
Soul
that they're saying Maduro is a part of.
Venezuela.
I've seen that language used by
Oh, Cartel de los Sol.
yeah,
De los
yeah.
Sol.
They,
Cartel of Suns, which is not an actual cartel, which is
No.
just like
a made up-
slang. It's
yeah.
slang for what people of Venezuela are calling their shitty government.
Yeah. It's a global drug dealing cartel. Didn't you know that?
Could you imagine though all these like investigators of the government were like the intelligence agencies, they're like no, I don't know what you're talking about. They had to take it out of the indictment, and they're gonna have to prove that in court because it's still in the Maduro indictment. They have to prove
Right.
that he's the head of this international cartel that is not actually an international cartel.
No. And in fact, I heard today on NPR as well that he is going to make the fact that he's the head of a country, because he still rightfully is, that's going to be part of his defense. He gets immunity as a global,
Yes.
as a leader of a country.
And then the question is like, who gets to say your election was a fraud? And then like Trump's gonna be like, I get to say when you're when an
Oh
election is a
yeah, of
fraud.
course he's gonna be the arbiter. They had mail-in ballots when they voted for Maduro,
I know a fake when I see one.
and we all know mail-in's bad.
Here's another thing that I think is also crazy when it comes to Venezuela. Let me show you this article.
It's big. It's a big country.
Let me watch this video here. So check this. The United States seized 2 oil tankers on
The vessel
Wednesday.
this morning was seized in the North Atlantic, and this was a Venezuelan shadow fleet vessel that has transported sanctioned oil. And the United States of America, under this president, is not going to tolerate that.
Which, by the way, I don't know if anyone saw, Carolyn Levitt ended her last press conference at like an hour and 55 minutes, which there was a giant Polymarket bet that was going for the over-under on like an hour 55, and she finished at like an hour 54:30 and looked up at the clock right before she did because someone took the under, apparently.
Wow.
This, I mean, like fraud for days, by the way. Okay, let's back to this.
Right. Wait, hold on. You're telling me people who can determine incomes are going to sway the incomes if other people are making a bunch of money on said incomes?
I know
Outcomes?
it's hard to believe, Travis. This is the first. This is how I was surprised too when I heard it. So, this thing is crazy. Basically, this shadow fleet boat, they've been like sneaking out of Venezuela, taking oil and giving it to the Russians or selling. This is how that's been working. That's been going on for a long time. Here's what happened though. Midway through, and they chased this boat all the way from Venezuela, like up through the Atlantic. They chased them halfway across the world. And midway through, when they knew they were being chased, they repainted the outside of the boat with Russian flag colors, with the Russian flag.
What?
Said they were, called Putin, called Russia, and said we're being chased. Putin calls Trump and says, hey, that's our boat. Don't take it. And then Trump and the administration took it anyways.
Ooh, shots fired against Vladdy Dottie.
This is the first time, apparently, in history that a country has taken another's oil tanker, a sovereign country like this. This is like a never been happened before kind of thing, and it could keep happening. That means any country can just snatch another country's boat because they feel like it, or they're going to assert some right over it.
Oh yeah, the precedent is very, very disturbing.
Oh, just a mess.
You're talking Ukraine, you're talking Iran, even Syria's been going kind of like wild this week, according to I was listening to on NPR. But they did point that out as well, is that these are all areas where Putin was trying to have influence, right? Venezuela, Iran, Syria. I mean, talk about soft power, just giving them selling the weapons, so not quite soft, but not quite hard. Ukraine's the only full-on invasion. Penetration, dare I say, that Putin has done, but everything else was soft power, hard power. But like even with Venezuela, now what is this doing to Putin's influence? Is this Trump maybe firing some shots across the bow at his old buddy?
I feel like we've completely gotten rid of soft power. It's only just like bro power now.
There's no more foreplay. No more
foreplay. Right. I don't know. I think he's trying to be a tough guy. And then Putin's going to not call him for a week. And then he's going to be like, I'm sorry. Here's your boat back.
Or he's going to use that hypersonic missile he used in Ukraine, where he's going to be like, excuse me, do not mess with me, sir.
But, also this is these ships, by the way, don't have much oil on them. I know it seems like a giant tanker and all this stuff like that, but it's like.
Oh, you think it's all fentanyl?
No, but.
I see what you're doing there. Oh, wink,
riddled with
wink,
fentanyl.
Wink, wink. This oil's laced with fentanyl. P. Diddy, get in here.
Oh, my God. What are we going to do? Where should we go next, Travis? Should we go to...
Hey, it's a whole wide world of problems right now. You let me...
know.
What's everyone else feeling? What do they want to hear from us? We did... Seena did point out after we recorded our episode this week that I completely forgot to talk about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
But that's what I texted back. I was like, it's almost like all the wars are a distraction. But every late night comedian made that joke this week about, they're like, how bad are the Epstein files? It's invade another country bad. So I think all the comedians were on the same wavelength in that way. But don't worry, we will be doing an Epstein files roundup because they're still not all coming out the way they were supposed to on December 19th. So,
which is breaking the law.
Breaking the law that Congress passed overwhelmingly. And that Trump signed. So it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting times ahead, folks. Buckle up.
Can I give you another Iran update that's also...
Please, you're the only one who does. I don't have your algorithm. My algorithm, especially during the holidays, is a lot of Muppet Christmas Carol. And
I wish.
That's when I check out, right? So you tell me what's going on in Iran.
Well, this is another thing that they're doing right now is that there's these groups of people that are like taking over buildings. They're like really going after. They're doing incredible stuff here, but they are starting to shut off parts of the internet, and that's another huge thing. And when they shut off parts of the internet, that's things are going to get really bad. Mm-hmm. And here we go. The Iran's judiciary chief Gholam Hossein Mohseni separately vowed that punishment for protesters will be, quote, will be decisive, maximum, and without any legal leniency. So I think when people think about stuff that's happening here or something other countries and stuff like that, just know that it's if these protests and this uprising does not result in a revolution, then it's going to result in thousands of people getting executed. And after the summer 12-day war, thousands of people were killed. This is insane.
Yeah. Can we follow up on something we talked about on our show this week about Operation Rising Lion? I know Michael Mike Pompeo tweeted something about Mossad agents in Iran during all of this. I mean, how do we tiptoe around this barnacle, as we say in the boat business?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here. It's like Israel has a vested interest in Syria being a destabilized country. We all know that and why they were doing it. And Iran in the same sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the Islamic Republic. That's why you see the Shah's son having a really close relationship, Reza Shah with Reza Pahlavi with Bibi Netanyahu. So
Right.
they're that close tie in that relationship wants to usher in someone that's friendly, that's pro-Israel and all these things, not pro the Iranian people, and that's the fundamental problem here.
Right.
They've also said things like, I mean, ministers within the Israeli government are saying things like, we need to, Iran is too big, and so there's all this
So they want to
stuff.
split it up.
Yeah, there's like the amount of
Wow.
external influence that they're trying to do. So Pompeo made this statement about this tweet about like all the Mossad agents, because the other thing is that the Iranian government, the Islamic Republic, their regime is terrified of all the Mossad agents and all the infiltration that's happened over the last year. Like Khamenei, like the Ayatollah, the Grand Supreme Leader,
Right.
there's no phone around him, there's no pager. There's
Right.
no computer. There's no TV.
Yeah.
There's not a single electronic near this man. He is living, Saddam Hussein, Bin Laden type of, resort living. Okay.
Right. Seclusion. Yeah.
I don't even think a DVD player's getting to him. Okay.
What?
So
How about a
yeah.
VHS? Come on. He's got to have. You telling me? Hold on. I've got my favorite VHS here just for you guys.
let me see it.
Hold
Is
on,
it
here we go.
Scrooged?
No. There we go. Folks, this is the only VHS the Ayatollah is allowed to have. It's Regis Philbin, my personal workout. It features cameos, Seena, from Kathy Lee Giffords. Remember? And then Gelman. Remember their producer? Gelman.
Oh, we got to super zoom in on that. There we go.
And then, of course, the cameo from Regis's wife, Joy. Joy, my wife. I used to do a Regis Philbin impression in high school when he was doing the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which led to everyone getting me Regis stuff. So this is it. This is how
I'm
you
so
get.
happy you kept that.
This is how you get the Ayatollah. Okay.
This is how you get him.
You send in Regis Philbin. I know he's passed away,
Slip
but
some C4 into his Regis workout VHS.
boom, it goes in the VHS player.
Yeah.
Never see him again.
That's
I'm going to put it up here with my Henry Kissinger books.
Yeah.
Talk about our backgrounds real quick. I just want to point out this is my most accurate. This is the most for a foreign report, for a foreign policy show. I've got all my flags from other countries up
There
here.
we go.
Great Britain, Nigeria, Mexico, Guatemala, Bahamas, the places I frequent, as you know. And then I've got a whole stack of like foreign policy books. I got Obrzezinski, the Grand Chessboard, right? Well, then it's a lot of conspiracy stuff. Henry Kissinger, diplomacy. Yeah, good stuff right there. And I know you've got your background is very expertise as well.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of books back there. I don't know. I can't really even see them at this point.
These are our MSNBC backgrounds.
Yeah, right.
We're ready.
Let's see. Let's go. Where do we want to go around to? Oh, thank you. The Iran poster. Yeah. I just got this.
No, that's
This is
great.
a pre-revolution. There
Right.
you go. No, it was fun times.
And just to recap the Iran conversation, perhaps a conclusion for now, obviously, but you're saying, I believe you were saying with our guest this week, that destabilization is the goal of not just Netanyahu, but it's probably going to be the reality of what happens when you do an uprising, right? When you infiltrate an uprising and just create two different sides in a country, it's not just a civil war, it's an ongoing conflict of any name.
Yeah, I think there's a few things there, right? It's like this needs the protests, the uprisings need to keep happening. They need to have legs.
Right.
Back in the day, the CIA probably would have been like funneling guns in there and
Right.
Stoke the flames, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I mean, I'm guessing someone's meddling, someone's getting in there. But at this point, all they need really, and this is like this is very reductive, but they just need to keep going. and it's hard. It's easier said than done. But if they just keep going for months and months and months, they're going to be able to do this thing. Remember, we said this on the show as well, and make sure you sign up for our newsletter. We're going to put the full interview out on the newsletter. So
Very cool.
foreignreportshow.com to sign up for that. But it took a year in 1979. It took a whole
Right.
year of
Right.
people out in the streets.
Wow.
So maybe it won't take as long, but these things in the past have not lasted that long because people get fed up. But the economic situation is so bad. The people
Yeah.
are so fed up. They've got nothing left. They've got
Right.
almost nothing left to lose.
Well, now they're losing their internet. I mean,
The fact that so many thousands of people are in the streets, and it's not like when we go out in the streets. It's a parade when we go out. There's a license. There's like a
Right.
a permit.
it's
okay?
also in the Constitution we're allowed to do it.
Yeah, exactly. These people going out in the streets, they could all be put to death. This is like not to be. Let's just put a real fine point on it. They all know that. They all know if they are in the streets protesting, they can be picked up and they can be tried through like some crazy speedy execution trial and put to death. So, well, that's special.
Well, isn't that special?
That's special.
It's a church lady. Remember the church lady?
It is
folks?
church lady.
Come on.
That is right.
We got to
It
make
is.
it bearable. We're trying.
Yeah, we got to do something's got to happen.
Well, keep us in the loop. And thank you
yeah.
for your service.
Should we wrap up today? I think we've done like a good amount there. Does anyone have any questions out there?
Yeah,
Can
hit us with the
people-
question. The big questions, everybody.
Oh, here's a good one. Can the people of the U.S. borrow some of the Iranian protesters to help us out? Maybe import some French people. I would say the French are very good at protesting. I've been to France a couple of times. There was constant strikes and constant protests, and they all
Yeah.
did a very good job.
Is that every time you were there? Because when I studied in London, that was during the second Iraq War, obviously, but George W. Bush, early 2000s, and I marched in a big ol' Iraq War protest there in I think 2005, 2006.
This wasn't even a Iraq war. This was like local.
Right, it's like the
country
garbage
level.
men are on strike in Paris. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it shuts down.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I think but the Iranians, I mean, these are people just trying to survive. I think they'd probably love to come to America. I don't know. Some of them, I think they'd probably like just to keep their homes. But it'd
Yeah.
be nice, how it is. Who loved that flamethrower video, by the way? Did we all see that this week?
I loved it because my
Sending that
only
around.
experience seeing an actual flamethrower, and it's not even actual. It's in a movie. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's what I, And then Leo's like, "Can we turn it down?" And then the stunt guy is like, "It's a flamethrower, mate." It's like, it's just like,
Amazing.
yeah,
Travis, do you performing live anywhere soon?
yeah. Well, talking about making it bearable. I had a great show last night. I'm still wearing the shirt because it was so fun. Sam Talent, everybody, my good old pal from Denver Comedy. I met him 15 years ago this month.
Amazing.
And he came and did an almost sold out show, the Columbus Funny Bone, last night. Over 300 tickets on a Thursday. So that was fun to feature for him. And, for certain audiences, like I'll sprinkle in local Ohio politics. I definitely stay away from the bigger stuff. So that was a lot of fun too. I make fun of our governor, Mike DeWine, who looks like a tiny shoemaker. I've got nothing but roast jokes for him. But then I try to switch it up. I roasted the Browns. You'll be happy. The Cleveland Browns, the football team. I should say the football team. I roasted them, and it was a lot of fun. But Sam will be in Cincinnati all weekend. So if anybody's in Cincinnati, check out Sam at Go Bananas, a great comedy club. They were always very good about booking our New York friends. And then I will be in the opposite direction, Cleveland, Ohio, everyone. I got 2 shows in Cleveland, Imposters Theater at 7 p.m., and then the Secret Society Comedy Secret Show, but it's not a secret. It's at Mahal's bowling alley in the apartment stage up there. And that'll be at midnight. So I might take a nap in between shows. If you're lucky, you can find me napping in my car in the streets of Cleveland.
Midnight.
No, I'm just kidding. I got an Airbnb. I went ahead. I sprung for an Airbnb. It's a mini vacation to Cleveland. We've all been there.
Well, folks, check out foreignreportshow.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out the full interview with Samira is going to be on there. We'll be back next week. Remember, we're recording on Tuesdays, dropping episodes on Thursdays, newsletter on Fridays, live shows. I think we'll keep doing these live streams every now and then. I think these are fun. More is going to happen. Maybe we'll do I don't know. They got to do a State of the Union at some point, right? That's got to happen sometime.
I can only imagine it'll be complete bullshit being spewed from a podium. I'm calling it now. Drink everything time you think he's lying, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be the drinking game. Maybe we do a live stream for one of those. Maybe we.
I think so. That's
like
what
that.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we do a watch along. Yeah.
A watch along. That sounds like. I mean, honestly, I only saying it sounds fun because I would do it with you. Beyond that, I used to watch those things all the time. I was
we
a big
used to
old
have a
nerd.
great time. That was so much fun.
We would watch debates and have a fun time.
It'd be really great. It was a good time.
All right.
Times were simpler. All right, folks. Thanks so much for joining us on the TF4 Live for T-Seps. I'm FPZ. We'll see you next time.